Good morning, and thanks for coming back to the channel. This video will make some people uncomfortable, probably. I don't know how many of the folks that will be uncomfortable actually watch this channel or have had any content forwarded to them. But one of the greatest dangers to the American culture and the culture of Western civilization in general is not new. Every culture that has been grown and become seen as from back to the Hellenic era has always had a precursor to its demise, and that is where men, real men, and real women are hard to tell apart, or their roles are separated or not separated anymore. Men become fluffy, masculinity and violence, that's violence that men are supposed to apply in defense of their culture or their country or their family, is bred out or is attempted to be bred out, and what is in its place is effeminate male behavior. Now, if you just go back and look at the rise and fall of various civilizations, you will find that inside those civilizations, those men who resist this becoming something that they're not, who resist that, are forced to the edges, of their civilization, forced to the edges of their culture. And we know them as sheepdogs. We know them as warriors. We know them as those rough men who are needed so that the others can sleep well at night. Those men are forced to the edges. Because of who they are never eliminated. But what happens then is, to that culture, these men from all other places conquer that soft culture. Whether it's the Huns, whether it's the Islamic hordes back then, those kinds of things happen. Now, what is going on today? Well, you should know that this idea of being trans, this idea of being something that you're not, this idea that says I can be anything I want physically because I believe that is what I should be, is going to be the demise of Western culture. It'll certainly be the demise of America if we don't get our hands around that. I mean, you got a problem when you have people who believe that it's okay to blind themselves because they feel they should be blind. They feel as if they should be a blind person. Those people who go and have their breasts removed because they feel that they don't belong on them. And by the way, any doctor that does that should be, that's, in my opinion, a death sentence. And if you do anything like that to a child, read that as anyone below majority, in this case 18, I would say higher than that. Consider, there are doctors who will not sterilize an adult female when she wants to be, not have an abortion, but just to become sterilized because she does not want to have children. The doctors will say they won't even touch her until she's in her mid-30s. So even if you're an adult woman, there are so many physicians that just will not act on that. But they will cut your arms off. They will give you puberty blockers. They will cut off your penis if you're a man because you feel better. See what I'm getting at? To let that get root in this culture will destroy the country. Because where will the men be? Where will the men be, right? They certainly are not going to be those women who decide they want to be a man. That just can't happen. It just can't happen. Around the world today, we have countries who, as a national project, are making more masculine men, making men be more masculine as part of a national program. The country that comes to mind is China, not Taiwan, but China, mainland China, and North Korea. I mean, they go after, hammer and tong, they go after any male who's born a male that believes they should be a female, or they reward males who adopt the masculine, strength-based persona, the warrior. And we need to do that. We need to do that in this country. We need to value maleness and masculinity. And masculinity is not toxic. The misuse of masculinity is a crime, right? Because that's a behavioral thing. Just like having a firearm is not a problem. Misuse of the firearm is. So my point is, we need to continue the thrust to prevent the spread of the trans mindset, where I can be, if I'm born a male, you are born a male. You are not assigned your gender. You're not assigned anything. You are born that way. Now, it is true that there are humans around the world, not a lot, but there are humans around the world that they used to be called hermaphrodite, where they have two genitalia. And it is true that, unbeknownst to parents, physicians would solve the problem before handing the child over to the parents, right? You could argue that that was wrong. You could argue that there is a way to deal with that, but that does not mean that you create this culture where you teach children that they can be something other than they are, that it's okay, because it's not okay. It's called gender dysphoria. Body dysphoria is the same. It is a mental illness. It's in the book, and there are treatments for it, none of which are cut off the penis or cut off the breasts. See what I'm saying? So we need to look around, honor the masculine, honor the strength, honor the warriors, honor the sheepdogs, because they are the ones that are going to save the country. So I'd be very interested in any thoughts you guys and ladies might have. This has been percolating in my head for a while. If you like the content, and some of you may unsub after this, but that's okay. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon. Forward to other people if you like what I have to say. Think about what I have to say. And as always, wherever you can, whenever you can, however you can, carry on.